Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 6, Text 44, Translation. My dear Lord, your Lordship has introduced the system of sacrifices through the agency of Daksha, and thus one may derive the benefits of religious activities and economic development. Under your regulative principles, the institution of the 4 varnas and ashramas is respected. The Brahmanas therefore vow to follow this system strictly. Purport. The Vedic system of varna and ashrama is never to be neglected, for these divisions are created by the Supreme Lord Himself for the upkeep of social and religious order in human society. The Brahmanas, as the intelligent class of men in society, must vow to steadily respect this regulative principle. The tendency in this age of Kali to make a classless society and not observe the principles of Varna and Ashrama is a manifestation of an impossible dream. Destruction of the social and spiritual orders will not bring fulfillment of the idea of a classless society. One should strictly observe the principles of Varna and Ashrama for the satisfaction of the Creator, for it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna that the 4 orders of the social system, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras, are His creation. They should act according to the regulative principles of this institution and satisfy the Lord, just as different parts of the body all engage in the service of the whole. The whole is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in His Virat Rupa, or universal form. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras are respectively the mouth, arms, abdomen and legs of the universal form of the Lord. As long as they are engaged in the service of the complete whole, their position is secure. Otherwise, they fall down from their respective positions and become degraded. Tvameva durmarta dugabi pataye dakshena sutrena sasarjita dvaram tvayaiva loke vasitascha setavo yan brahmana shradadate dritavrataha. My dear Lord, your Lordship has introduced the system of sacrifices through the agency of Daksha, and thus one may derive the benefits of religious activities and economic development. Under your regulative principles, the institution of the 4 varnas and ashramas is respected. The Brahmanas therefore vow to follow this system strictly. So here we have a blueprint for success of human life. The system of sacrifices, the system of yagyas, and the varnashram system. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said that the Lord has given sacrifices so that living entities can perform them and live peacefully. And also it is recommended that human beings cooperate with the demigods. So if human beings do yagyas, then the demigods are pleased and they send rain and everything that is needed for the maintenance of the living entities on the planet Earth. Here, 2 of 4 are mentioned, Dharma and Artha, economic, religious activities and economic development, and then Kama and Moksha are not mentioned out of 4 principles of the progressive society, we may say. So the Lord knows that living entities are conditioned, and He is giving them still opportunity to satisfy their senses, but in a regulated way. And in the Vedas you find everything, any kind of desire that you want to fulfill, it's there. In the 2nd canto there is several verses that Srila Prabhupada put them together, which describe if you want to achieve this, or if you want to get this result, then you should worship this demigod or this incarnation of the Lord. And so the Lord has given opportunity to fulfill all kinds of desires, but together with performing sacrifices, because in this way the living entity can be purified. The problem with the conditioned souls is that they want to fulfill their desires in their own way, not in His way. And He says, if you do it my way, then you don't degrade yourself. If you do it your way, then you usually choose sinful way and you degrade yourself. So the Lord has given in the Vedas opportunity to actually get purified gradually. Nobody can be purified abruptly, but one has to be purified gradually. Because the conditioned soul have been conditioned by sense gratification for many, many lifetimes. So the living entity, conditioned soul, cannot actually give up sense gratification immediately. But the conditioned soul can give up sinful sense gratification. That is possible, to give up sinful sense gratification. And therefore, all kinds of instructions are there how to live and how to satisfy basic needs, but in a way that will not degrade living entities. And so we have instructions for those who are in the mode of ignorance, we have instructions for those who are in the mode of passion, we have instructions for those who are in the mode of goodness, and anyone can be elevated from wherever they are. So there is never a situation that is hopeless. But conditioned souls, they actually are expert in sabotaging themselves and in accepting the ways of thinking that are against their interest. So they become hopeless, they become depressed, they become dejected, sad, and without any understanding of their eternal nature and of eternal life that is there in the spiritual world. So people are teaching us in the material society about success and happiness, but if we ask them, what's the use of all this? We are all going to die. then they don't know. They say we are just looking at what is now, here and now, and we want to get the most out of it. So, less intelligent beings don't think about the future. So they also, you have heard these slogans, live in the now, live in the present moment. And what shall I do in the present moment? Enjoy. So when you get a letter from a New Age people, they finish it with enjoy, with exclamation mark. Enjoy now, be happy now. And in the wisdom of different countries, we have certain proverbs that say the same thing. They say, actually in English also, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you may die. Or in my country there is, take everything that life gives you, today you are a flower and tomorrow you are a withered rose. Withered? Withered rose. So, so you will lose capacity to enjoy tomorrow, so enjoy it today. We don't know what future holds, so let us use every single moment to enjoy. So I wrote to one very famous success teacher who is a millionaire, and I said, sir, you're teaching success, which is in this limited span of time, which is one lifetime, it's 70 years, 80 years, whatever, even 100 years. So what about after that? And he says, well, because we don't know, we don't bother to think about it. So I thought this is not a very intelligent proposal, intelligent understanding. No. To inquire about the future is actually intelligent. So sometimes maybe we want to enjoy something, but Krishna doesn't give us, and we get really angry and we say, why you don't give me? You must be envious of me that I will enjoy. But actually God is not envious of our sinful sense gratification. He's not envious. Why he would be envious? He has so much enjoyment himself. So why Krishna doesn't give? In the Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said Amivigya, which means what? Amivigya? Krishna says Amivigya. What does it mean? It means I'm intelligent. So because I'm intelligent, Krishna says, because he's intelligent, because I'm intelligent, I don't always give to my devotee everything he wants. I give him everything he needs, but not everything he wants. And you know, like child gets very angry if he doesn't get the toy she or he wants. Child gets very angry. So similarly, living entities get angry at God. Why? Now, during this time of global manipulation with the epidemic or pandemic, some people question where is God in all this and why he is allowing these things to happen. And sometimes they ask us, so what do you say if people ask you, why is this happening? Where is God to help us? If you have closed eyes, you cannot stay awake. If you have closed eyes, maybe you can get up. If you stand, maybe it will be easier for you. So what do you tell people if they ask you about this epidemic? How do you explain it in a reasonable way, Krishna conscious way? Oh, wonderful! You have a microphone, a flying microphone with a cable. It's not wireless. So what do you say? Anybody want to? I'm sure that somebody asks you. Yes.
They don't. I will go.
Huh?
If they don't say, I will say.
Yes.
Well, I would also use the example of children. When children are not very nicely treating the possessions of the father and mother,
Mm-hmm.
and when they don't treat very nicely each other,
Nice, I like this.
then what do? You love them, but what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody just recently said, you send them to the room to think about things. So we've been sent to our rooms to think about what we do.
Wonderful. Anybody else? Maybe you have to jump and offer them like this. If they don't jump, then you have to jump.
Trying to avoid answering this.
It's a touchy question.
Yes, you have to be politically correct.
But, well, if I would explain to people, I would say something like this, that over the last many years, the planet Earth has been heavily exploited for people's sense gratification without any concern for consequences, any concern for the environment and people's physical and mental health and so on. So how can you expect going on without receiving any reaction?
Mm.
So there has to be reaction for wrong deeds. So what's happening? It is a reaction.
Mm.
So
It's not an accident.
definitely.
And it's not a whim of God. Whim.
No, yeah, obviously not whim. We have caused this, and then we have to reap the results. Consequences, yes.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of a knife as a toy. So we can say to people, we are playing with dangerous toys, so therefore the Lord is taking them away. Like eating meat, intoxication, illicit sex, gambling. This is dangerous toys. Any other thoughts on what would you answer to this question?
Well, maybe we can point that it's some kind of reminder of becoming a little more introspective, turning towards the inward, rather than being so externally absorbed. And maybe at least through this kind of experience, we can understand that this external gratification, it didn't bring us practically anything but that very same thing as a result of suffering. So then maybe it's some kind of hint to kind of, if nothing externally it's not satisfying, then maybe we should turn the other way. Maybe we should turn towards in somehow inwardly. course, for people who are somewhat a little more in the mode of goodness, that would be beneficial. They become more God conscious, and those who are more in tamasic mode, then they become even more agitated, and they react in a worse way. So it depends who is at which mode, and then maybe trying to explain to people how it's more beneficial to come to those higher modes and then seeing benefit in everything, rather than seeing things in a negative ways. Something on that line.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Okay, thank you. Okay, so especially in difficult situations, we have to have answers to all the questions, and we have to have reasonable explanations. And this is an opportunity for people to develop more faith in our philosophy and in our process, and in devotees as people, as reasonable people. If we give some top-down answer which is very high, it will not actually impress people or be acceptable for them. But if we explain something that is down to earth, that makes sense, but sometimes Srila Prabhupada would just challenge back. He would challenge back. Like, people say, can you show me God? And Prabhupada says, but do you have eyes to see God? Or people say, why God does this or why God doesn't do that? And we challenge, and why don't you do something? What about you? Or people say, can you show me God? And we say, can you show me your character? What are you doing? So conditioned souls think they have a right to challenge God. But if you want to challenge anyone, you have to be ready to be challenged yourself also. Otherwise it's not fair. So sometimes devotees see mistakes in ISKCON, in leadership, or whatever, and they use the internet to write long messages. And then I write them and I say, is anybody challenging you? What about you? What are you doing? You think you are perfect? Why do you think you have a right to criticize everyone? And then there's different answers. Sometimes they attack me or something. So, if you want to challenge others, which is a nice pastime, challenging others, you have to be ready to be challenged yourself, and you have to show character, that you are following everything that you are teaching, and that you are expecting others to follow. This is the law of God. This is the law of nature. If you want to, you have to practice what you preach. And if you want others to listen to you, you have to follow what you are proposing, what you are propagating. So let us go back to our verse that Varna and Ashrama are meant to engage people according to their present conditioned nature. And therefore all the counselors, mentors, coaches, those who are assisting others, they have to help devotees to find their Varna and find their Ashrama. Now we see that devotees are actually, nobody is like pure Varna and pure Ashrama, but there is mixture. But sometimes one quality is predominant, okay, and you can engage if you like in that way. But usually it's mixed, very mixed. And now, okay, for Varnas we can understand how it's mixed, but for Ashramas we don't understand how it's mixed, but it's mixed. We have like white single men, a single man in white. And they cannot, they try to be married or the relationship doesn't work, but they are not brahmacharis, so they have to wear white. And so what ashram are they? There is 4 ashramas, but it seems there is a 5th ashram also, or maybe 6 ashramas. I mean, there is gay and lesbian people also. So what ashram are they? Can you say that if somebody married a person of the same sex, they are Grihasta? I don't know if you can say that. And then, okay, so now we can say, so what shall we do? I mean, this verse insists that we should follow Varna and Ashrama. And then there are other verses that say, Naham Vipro Nacha Vaishya Nashudra. I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Vaishya, I'm just eternal servant of Krishna. So forget about all these designations, just engage in Krishna service. So nobody is disqualified to engage in Krishna service. Everybody has a right to engage in Krishna service, even if you are not sure what Varna and Ashrama you are. But people who can be situated distinctly or clearly in the Varna and Ashrama, they're usually more peaceful. They're more peaceful if they do their duties properly. So this scientific way is given for the Lord so that we can somehow define our roles and our duties in the material world and engage peacefully in this. And through performing one's duty with the idea to please Samsiddhi Haritoshanam, to please the Lord, one attains perfection. And you know, sometimes people, you can't just force them or beat them up. You can't force people to get married. You can't force people to remain single. But we have to see what's the best. And sometimes they just have to try different things and find something that works for them. So therefore, every preacher should be patient. Krishna is so patient with us, so we also have to be patient with other people. And stay with them until they find their strength, until they find their way. Now, in this modern society, there is some people who look like brahmanas. Like there is one man who is giving comments on the situation, political situation, and he understands so many things. And he's not like into conspiracy theories and things like this, but he understands so many things, and he's very intelligent. But he is not fully trained brahmana, and he doesn't have transcendental knowledge. He has some mundane knowledge, which is maybe in the mode of goodness. So there is no brahmanas to guide kshatriyas today, and also there is no Krishna conscious kshatriyas. But Srila Prabhupada was saying, if some of you have looked at Vanipedia, how many of you know Vanipedia? Okay, so first video of 1080 videos that are, the Wikipedia is translating into all the languages of the world, and some languages are finished. So the first video speaks about 10 million acharyas. 10 million acharyas. So 10 million acharyas for this world. First he was saying 10,000, but then he increased. He said there will be no scarcity of acharya. And my question is, where these acharyas will come from? They will come from somewhere, from outside? Maybe some people will join and become guru, and become preacher, become spiritual guide. But most of these acharyas have to come from devotees in ISKCON. So basically, when you put a small fish in an aquarium, then it can grow. Otherwise, if you put it in too small aquarium, it cannot grow. Krishna is giving us a big aquarium in the form of a position of a preacher. And we need to take it. It is said that everyone should become a guru. We are thinking, no, I'm not qualified. But imagine if Krishna thinks like this about you, until and unless you accept to do this service of preaching, you will not attain perfection. I want you to preach, even if it takes you 3-4 more lifetimes, but don't avoid preaching. Imagine if Krishna would put this condition on you. You may say, I'm not qualified to preach, I like deity worship, I like this, I like that. Krishna says, no, I want you to become a trusted guide and to guide people. Because nowadays so many people are guiding people. They are telling them what to do, what to think, how to become happy. And devotees are not guiding people. So some devotees become trusted guides, they become prominent in the world, or as Hare Krishnas, or as just, success teachers. Not many are like this, but some are like this. And become authorities, they become trusted guides. So Krishna is waiting for you to become a trusted guide and to give up even humility, or so-called humility, to give up and to stop making an excuse that you are not qualified. If you're not qualified, then qualify. Let's make a list what you need to qualify and become a trusted guide. You don't have to become a guru. Nobody's asking you to become a Diksha guru. It's too early. But become a preacher, and become a teacher, and become a protector of people, and become a trusted guide, and guide people. And people will come, and they will say, what shall I do? I'm fighting with my boss on the job. What shall I do? You should be able to give them first-class advice. So therefore, devotees need to train themselves in order to be qualified to guide other people. And how can we do that? In the beginning, people are training you in the Bhakta program, and maybe you have a mentor for some time, then you give up mentor, then then you become independent, then nobody's guiding you, you don't talk to anybody, then you're a little bit maybe relaxed with your sadhana, with your rounds, chanting in the evening, trying to get by, trying to survive. How are you doing, Prabhu? Surviving. How are you doing? I'm okay. What is okay? Well, to be honest, nothing is okay. My japa is not okay. My diet is not okay. My preaching is not okay. My faith is, the worst thing is my faith is not okay. I don't believe Krishna is God, and I don't like the fact that He is God. And I don't like Him. I still like women. And now you want me to preach. How can I do that? Well, you have a choice. You understand that you are eternal servant of Krishna. Yes. So you choose to imitate, to be an enjoyer and controller in this world, or you want to be a servant. So what do you choose? So there is so many people waiting to be guided by us, and we are avoiding this service. We are hiding behind humility and excuses like I'm not qualified. And there is one Prabhu. His name is Chaitanya Avatari. Who knows him? Nobody. He is from Bangalore, but not, I think he's not from Ritwik Bangalore temple, but from Bangalore. And I heard amazing thing from Harikatha Prabhu, you know him, about him. He was here also. But maybe you were not here when he was here. I was also not here when he was here. He is creating an amazing program for people before they start Bhakti Shastri, before they start Bhakti training. And this is what is missing, I think. This is genius. Chaitanya Avatari and Rasamai, his wife. So I now contacted him, and I want to make an interview with him, and I want to share it with you also to see what he is doing, how he respects everyone who comes even 5 minutes in the temple. When somebody comes 5 minutes in the temple, we think, oh, he's not sincere, he just came to pray for money, he just came to pray for health, to marry his daughter, he just put very little money in the box. I'm not sure how much, some coins, that means that that's little, it's not paper. So we judge people who come here and think they are not sincere, but he sees these people completely differently. He sees them, wow, 5 minutes. Do you know how long this person has traveled to come here and spend 5 minutes? Probably sometimes 1 hour, or then 1 hour back. And then he says, in these 5 minutes, you give them beautiful experience of visiting the temple and gaining trust in devotees. Such a different approach, my God. This is a preacher, this is a trusted guide. So we have these books and we are reading them every day, but we need to start to apply them. So how can we get more serious? I have brought practical tools for this, for you, for everybody who wants. And on Friday and Saturday we will have, Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, we will have a seminar called Devotee Success Partnership, where we will give you several structures how you can support each other and help each other to become trained better and to become preachers. I mean, even more than now. So, what are the benefits of this is that there is accountability. You will be reporting to your success partner about your progress. Then there is encouragement. This devotee will always be supportive to you. And there is listening. And genuine interest in your spiritual advancement. So these three things you are provided by the devotee success partner. And I'm doing this with several devotees, not with one devotee, this success partnership. And it benefits me so much. So if you like, you can come on Friday and Saturday. This weekend and also the next weekend we will do, because we need more time for exercise for those who want to come and practice and learn about it. And in the material world, in the business world, it's called peer coaching, but it doesn't have to be between peers. Peers means equals. It doesn't have to be between peers. It can be between any two devotees, because you have a structure, you have a desire to help the other devotee, and you spend your time, spend it 1 hour a week in the most optimal way. And you can check on your japa, check on your diet, check on your preaching, check on your service, check on your relationships with your success partner. And in this way, we can help each other succeed in a very systematic and structured way, and it can bring better results. I have been traveling for many years, like at least 10 years, and trying to support the development of devotee care systems in different temples, and very few devotees step forward to be mentors, because this is a big commitment. So therefore, we have to have something to deal with our development needs, and this is one way to approach this success partnership. So, if you're interested, you're welcome to come on Friday and Saturday, and I will give you some tools that you can use, and so we can, in this way we can learn how to help each other succeed. And when people see how we are helping each other, they will say, I want to join you because I want also to have a success partner. I want to join you. You care for each other in a very, very open and clear way. And caring is not only being soft. Caring also means sometimes we have to be challenged. So if I report to my success partner about my getting up and attending morning program, how will I feel in the morning when the alarm clock rings and my mind tells me you're tired? I will think, yes, I'm tired, but I have to report failure again to my success partner. And I will feel like, I don't want to say what, So this is another impetus, another situation where you force yourself to make a move and to surrender a little bit more. Let's look just for a moment in our japa. How we will show Krishna that we are serious about our japa. If we are chanting our rounds whole day, if we are chanting inattentive rounds, if we are chanting late in the evening, how will we convince Krishna that we are serious about our japa? So we have to have some kind of a system, and you know, our preachers, gurus, they're giving a japa retreats, Mahatma Prabhu, Chinandan Maharaj. You know, we have so many tools how to improve our japa. So do you have a system to show Krishna that you are serious about japa? Chanting and doing something else, you know, laptop japa, smartphone japa, even sometimes mixed with prasadam eating japa, or mixed with sleeping, mixed with something else, you know, looking through the window or whatever, going here and there, looking at the newspaper or whatever. So this will not convince Krishna we are serious about our japa. We have to, like Vaisheshika Prabhu, he prepares his seat and surroundings, pictures, and he sits in one place and chants until he finishes 16 rounds. And always has a place, the sacred space, has a place that he chants, and nothing else. You do nothing else at that time. You do nothing else. And I have seen many times Satchidananda Maharaj, he comes late from the program, and then in the morning he gets class, but he didn't finish his rounds. Then he doesn't eat until he finishes his rounds. He just gets lost somewhere, nobody knows, and he finishes his rounds first. So in our country, we have an expression that Shima will know, mantrutskaye, maybe you also know. This is unserious chanting. This is chanting here, chanting there, doing this, doing that, looking at this, looking at that, looking at your phone. So during japa, no phone, no smartphone. This is number one rule. How many of you agree? How many of you are doing it? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so this is what success partners is about. You get on your own case through somebody else. You know, it's not that you will be accountable to me if I'm your success partner of the time be accountable to you. No, I'm accountable through you to my goals. I have chosen my goals. So it's not that, you know, yours now have to be older from me, or more senior or came earlier to ISKCON, that you can help me to be accountable to my goals. No, you don't have to be that. No. I will feel ashamed. I should be a better example for you as a senior, and even it's better that you are younger, but I will feel even more ashamed if you are younger, so that I'm not a good example for you, and I'm reporting that I have failed again with waking up and with my japa. And if you're really interested in excuses, I will teach you how to make excuses. I have written a book about excuses. It's not a big book, 30 pages, 40 pages. It has 9 chapters. So from this book you can learn how to make excuses, but also how to avoid them. So we always make excuses. So anyway, thank you very much for listening. This was some food for thought. And please come on Friday. Friday is tomorrow. Please come on Friday and Saturday to the course, and invite your relatives, friends, colleagues, superiors, subordinates, neighbors, and so that, you know, we have a crowd in the library upstairs, and we will practice. It's really, anybody who comes to this course, they really get enlightened because they practice talking about their goals and, you know, getting some accountability, reporting to each other, and helping each other succeed. So thank you very much for listening. Do you have any questions?
Hare Krishna, we have a question from Keshav Madhav Prabhu. It's a comment. I'll read it. I would like to share a comment, a quote.
Yes?
According to Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a preliminary state to Varnashrama Dharma. Quote, after giving a general list of 30 qualifications for one's behavior, Narada Muni now describes the principles of the 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. A human being must be trained in the above-mentioned 30 qualities, otherwise he is not even a human being. Then, among such qualified persons, the Varnashram process should be introduced.
I'm very grateful for this to Prabhu, and I will buy him an ice cream. Or anything he likes, maybe he doesn't take ice cream. This is qualifications of civilized human beings from the 7th canto.
This
Chapter
7, 11, 13.
Yeah. Yeah, this is excellent. This is exactly what this Prabhu is doing. He's actually helping people to preparing them for training. And to me, devotee care, you know, when I say devotee care, you may think, oh, devotee care means you hold me in your arms and you shake me like a baby. You know, you can just spoil me or cuddle me or fondle me or whatever. To me, devotee care is actually preparation for training. Preparation for training. Yes, we should give a lot of love and support to people, but we want them to become soldiers, not to become spoiled mommy's boys and girls. So, you know, we need devotee care, but we also need training. Anything else? Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, thank you. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.